Okay, so what if you could change your life in the time it takes to read a really short book? Well, that's pretty much the promise of Don Miguel Ruiz's tiny but wow, is it transformative book, The Four Agreements. It's this amazing guide and it's built on ancient Toltec wisdom, but it gives us this super simple code of conduct for, getting back our personal freedom. So the book kicks off with this, well, it's a pretty radical idea. It says that everything you're seeing and hearing right now, yeah, all of it, is nothing but a dream. See, the Toltecs, they believed our minds are just dreaming 24/7. It doesn't matter if you're awake or asleep. The entire world we live in, that's just a collective dream, what Don Miguel Ruiz calls the dream of the planet. But, and here's the real kicker, is this a dream you actually chose? I mean, really think about it for a second. Right from birth, we're taught how to dream based on society's rules. You didn't pick your language, right? Or your religion, or even your own name. So, how does all this programming actually happen? Well, Ruiz has this really powerful word for this whole process. He calls it domestication. And he argues that this is the source of most of our suffering. It's like this software that's just running in the background of our lives, and we never ever consented to installing it. So, let's unpack what that really means. Okay, I know domestication sounds super intense, but it's actually pretty simple when you break it down. As kids, right, we're rewarded when we follow the rules. We hear good boy, good girl, and we're punished when we break them. It doesn't take long for us to learn to fear that punishment and to absolutely crave the reward. And what is that reward really? It's just getting other people's approval. And so what's the result of all that? Well, we start pretending. We pretend to be someone we're not, all just to please other people. We build up this social mask, and it's all built out of a deep, deep fear of being rejected, of not being good enough. And our real, authentic, free self, it just gets buried under all these layers of expectations. We end up becoming a copy of someone else's dream. This whole domestication thing, it ends up creating a literal war inside our own heads. We basically take that whole system and turn it inward. We become our own tamers. And our mind, it splits into two parts. You've got the judge. That's the voice that uses society's rule book to criticize everything we do, think, and feel. And then you've got the victim. That's the part that takes all the judgment, carries all the blame, and is always whispering, I'm not good enough. So you've got this constant internal battlefield. And that, my friends, creates what Ruiz calls a personal dream of hell. It's a reality just fueled by fear and nonstop self-judgment. Think about it. We become the only animal on the entire planet that punishes itself 1,000 times over for just one mistake. It's crazy. So the big question has to be, how in the world do we break free from this? And that brings us to the solution. This is the good part. Ruiz gives us 4 incredibly powerful new agreements to make with ourselves. You can think of them as tools specifically designed to shatter those old fear-based agreements and help us finally take back our personal power. So, the first agreement, this one is probably the most important of all because it deals with the most powerful tool we have, our word. I mean, your word is pure magic. It's literally the force you use to create your own reality. With it, you can weave this absolutely beautiful dream, or you can use it to create hell on earth. Now, when he says be impeccable, he doesn't mean be perfect. That's not it at all. The word literally means without sin. And a sin, in this way of thinking, is just anything you do that goes against yourself. So being impeccable with your word means you stop using your words to beat yourself up, to judge and blame yourself. Instead, you start using your words to move toward truth and self-love. And this is where you really see the dark side of words. Ruiz calls gossip black magic. And it's the worst kind, because it's pure poison. It's like a computer virus for the human mind, It just spreads all this emotional poison and keeps us trapped in that dream of hell. So being impeccable means you make a choice. You refuse to spread that poison, not to other people, and just as importantly, not to yourself. All right, on to the second agreement, which really builds on that first one. I want you to think of this one like your own personal shield. It gives you complete immunity from the emotional poison that other people try to send your way. And it all comes down to understanding one simple but profound truth. Nothing anyone else does is because of you. It's always about them. See, when you take something personally, you're pretty much just opening your mouth and swallowing whatever poison someone is sending you. But when you get this, when you really get that what people say and do is just a projection of their own reality, of their world, well, it has nothing to do with you. And suddenly, you're immune. Wow, just that one shift can free you from so much needless suffering, from anger, jealousy, and sadness. Okay, agreement number 3. This one goes right after the source of, well, pretty much all the drama and misunderstanding in our relationships. We humans, we have this massive tendency to make assumptions about everything. And the real problem, we believe our assumptions are the absolute 100% truth. And this cycle, it's the source of so much conflict that's completely unnecessary. It goes like this. First, we make an assumption. Maybe someone sends a short text and we assume they're mad at us. Second, we believe it's the truth. Yep, they're definitely mad. Third, we take it personally. And fourth, we create this whole big drama for absolutely nothing. The way out is so simple, but man, it's not always easy. Just stop assuming. Find the courage to ask questions, to communicate clearly. Trust me, your relationships will thank you for it. And that brings us to the final agreement. This is the one that really makes the other 3 stick. It's what turns them from nice ideas into actual habits. It's all about action. And it's this. Under any circumstance, no matter what's going on, simply do your best. But here's the crucial part to understand. Your best is not a fixed thing. It's always changing, right? Your best when you're feeling healthy and full of energy is going to be totally different from your best when you're sick or exhausted. So this is not about perfectionism. It's the opposite, really. It's just about giving whatever effort you can in that specific moment. And when you do that, there's just no room left for that inner judge to come in and hit you with regret or self-blame. So what happens when you start practicing all 4 of these agreements together? Well, you start to literally transform your reality. You stop fighting with yourself. And you start, finally, creating a life that you actually love. By putting these agreements into practice, you stop feeding all that fear in your mind. Think about all the energy you used to waste on those old limiting beliefs. Well, you get all of that back. It's reclaimed. And you can then use that power to rewrite your own personal book of law, your own rule book, one that's based on truth and on love for yourself. Essentially, you transform your personal dream. You take it from that dream of hell, that place of suffering and constant fear, and you turn it into a dream of heaven. And heaven here is just a state of mind. It's a place where you are totally free to be who you really are, a place filled with joy and peace and unconditional love. And really, that's the ultimate gift of the 4 agreements. It doesn't just give you the tools, it gives you the permission to become the artist of your own life. So the question isn't if you have the power to change your dream, because you absolutely do. The only question left is, what dream will you create for yourself?